A true and faithful relation would pass for many years between Dr. John Dee and Some Spirits, Meric Casaubon, 1659. This is from Wednesday, November 20th. Main horror, 11 and a half. Lebec. Dee said, As thou hast of thy mercies, O Lord, give us some show of thy favor, bent towards us, so are we desirous to understand how our letters have wrought upon our friend, his heart, to join with us, to call for thy mercies, pardon and help. For if they have, then do we hope our bands of acceptable life, whereby to bind vengeance prepared and intended against us, shall wax more and stronger by thy great mercy and help to thy well-pleasing in thy service. Henceforward, Edward Kelly said, the cloud and bonds appear, but the bands appear fewer. Dee said, O Lord, is our state since yesterday become weaker with thee, and shall it so narrowly be exacted? Thy will be done, who art holy, just, and most wise, O God. Edward Kelly said, the bonds about the cloud are now only 2, which before were 6 or 7. The bonds seem of a smoky, ashy color, spirally going about the cloud. And a voice spoke at length, I guess, and is there something missing here? Because there's all the extra dots, but they don't use dots like I would use dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, Judgment is the end of justice, distributing and delivering also to everything, seen, heard, or determined, to his proper end, uprightly. Are ye able to deny this? Dee said, the end of our actions, words, and thoughts seem twofold. One of us, intended and meant to be good, the other not depending upon our weaning, but according to exact wisdom. What is the end of the same here deemed the proper end, if I understand right? The voice said, Lo, judgment is the end of justice in things that are handled uprightly, whereof you find the omnipotency and truth of him that judgeth omnipotently, which, beholding your combat, hath girded himself together, and behold the lists, and be judged uprightly, for he hath sworn it. Arm not yourselves, therefore, as weaklings, but provide as mighty and courageous soldiers for your own defense. I am without corruption, saith the Lord, and lean not with the winds of Basana. He said, O Lord, give me leave to request thee, and so on. The voice said, But I am just, and judgment herself. Enter not, therefore, into my holy places, neither kneel down before my sanctuaries, saying, The Lord hath chosen us, he liveth, and it is true forever. For I have said, it may be undetermined. I will also see whether ye be strong inwardly or privily rotten. For with the world your weakness is great. Whosoever overcometh shall rejoice. But I will be a God in my covenant, and will hold on my promise. Fight therefore as it becometh you, to cast off the world. Make flesh subject, and strangle your adversary. For unto such belongeth the entrance into my chambers, and the use of my will as the horn of my glory. For it is written, Light dwelleth not in darkness, neither hath darkness comprehended any light. For darkness is the cave of error, and the reward of sinners. Thus saith he which beholdeth your sorrows, and it is a fight for many days, which appeareth neither in the one nor in the other, nor giveth he answer until the end. Edward Kelly said, There is one come in like a ghost, And he taketh all the hangings away, which beautified the place, like to curtains. Now all the sides of the stone are darkish, and the cloud standeth in the very middle thereof. Now the bands seem brighter than because the place is so darkish. Dee said, O Lord, many days' combat is assigned us, and forasmuch as Licia est vita hominis super terram, we are now in a great uncertainty of our combat ending. Edward Kelly said, There standeth the number of 40 upon a great label, and nothing else. He said, This 40, O Lord, what betokeneth it? Days, weeks, or years? Well, whatsoever it be, blessed be the name of the highest, our God, King and Father. Edward Kelly said something, Dee said something, and Edward Kelly said something. Now is one come, in very brave, like a preacher. I take him to be an evil one. Dee said, Benedictus qui venit in nomen Domini. Edward Kelly says, He saith nothing, not so much as Amen. This preacher-like creature saith, Are ye so foolish to think that the power of God will descend into so base a place? Edward Kelly says, The power of God descendeth to beautify the place, and whatsoever he beautifieth, he doth it mercifully, and so through his mercy he descendeth among us that put our trust in his mercies. The entity said, It is true, but unto those that are righteous. He said, Christ is coming hath been to save sinners. His conversation was among sinners. Halt, lame, blind, and diseased. So likewise, now our frailty, our impurity, will not exclude his presence, or the ministry of his faithful angels. And then he said, What in this base manner? He says, Do you mislike the manner? Then he said, Can any that hath any drop of wisdom like it? Dee asked, Are you wise? And then he said, Or else I could not see thy imperfections. He said, Which be they? Accuse me. Then he said, What greater imperfection than to imagine, much more believe, that the angels of God will or may descend into so filthy a place as this corruptible stone is, considering the clearness and the bigness of the air, are the places that are prepared in a man's body for such entrances. The 9 gates, huh? Well, I mean, there's more than that, but more places than that, but you know what I mean. Dee said, Who causeth thee to come there? The entity said, Thy folly. Dee said, Art thou good or bad? The entity said, I am good, or else I could not see the bad. He said, Ergo, thou art a liar, for thou saidst, No good angel would, or might come here into the stone. Thus will God be glorified against wicked Satan, his ministers. His fetch was very subtle as to bring in doubt all the actions performed in this stone. What canst thou answer? Edward Kelly said, He saith nothing, neither can he say anything. He seemed to be a very foolish devil. He said, Mundacem apportet esse memorem. Now be packing hence. And Dee said, and the entity said, I will abide here. Dee said, Where God will permit thee, there mayest thou be. But we will as now cease, and we thank God highly of this comfort and victory. We beseech him that we may as preciously overcome all other diabolical assaults, our sophistical, our untrue persuasions, and all his temptations. Amen. Glory, honor, power, and praise be to our almighty and living God, the Lord of hosts, Jehovah, now and forever. Amen. And I think the spirits were frustrated with the constant reference to Christianity. That's like, well, okay, well, if you consider yourself a sinner and you can't do it on your own, you need someone else to come in and save you, why in the world are we descending to join you in your work if you feel like, Of course, you don't have to do the magic that the John Dee and his scryers did to work with Enochian magic.